when I'm walking past the mirror.
Every yearbook photo has a story that has never been told. And today, I'm going to tell you mine. When I was little, I grew up with a lot of cousins. And I loved when we went to Magic Mountain, Wild Rivers, and Mission Beach in San Diego. I did not have a care in the world. I may not have had everything I wanted, but I had everything I needed. Because my mother went to work every single day without fail. And as a matter of fact, she worked for Transamerica in downtown LA, not too far from here. I actually thought she had a really good job because everything was there. Her dentist, the doctor, the optometrist, even the pharmacy. And they always had events for the employees' families, such as carnivals and Christmas parties that my sister and I went to. And I know y'all saying that clown looks really creepy. But what's even more creepier is why is Santa looking at me like that? I'm just saying. I graduated high school when I was 17. And like Mary J. Blige said, I like what I see when I'm looking at me when I'm walking past the mirror. But I'll leave the singing to her. Life was actually pretty good. I had a job at Mervin's in the South Bay Galleria. Y'all remember Mervin's? I kind of wish they were still open. Man, I was making $3.95 an hour. I went to work dressed down in my Mervin's attire. I was rocking my cheetah shirt, my Hiller Hansen pants, and my partner friend's shoes. Come to think of it, that outfit sounds really ridiculous. Maybe it is a good thing they are closed. Well, one day after work, I got off at my bus stop around the corner from my house, and I saw two friends of mine. Were they my best friends? No, but we grew up in the same neighborhood. And walking down the street, passing them up, I saw that their eyes were glassy, and from the smell of their breath, they had been drinking. They said, hey, Chidell, come chill out with us. And I said, nah, I'm tired. I just got off work. But apparently no was not good enough. Because after I declined again, they started pulling me behind the house that we were standing in front of. And I tried to resist, but it was two guys against one girl. And when we got in the backyard, one of the guys made me lay down and started taking off my pants. I said, what are you doing? He had on a pair of leather black gloves, and he said, if you scream and wake up my father, I will kill you. This happened to be his house. And in that moment, all I can do is close my eyes and think about my mother and my sister. Their faces just kept flashing in my mind. And I had just turned 18. I wasn't ready to die yet. So I laid there, and with tears in my eyes, I asked my other friend, please get your friend off of me. And he said, come on, man, stall her out. But then something happened because he all of a sudden changed his mind and said, shoot, F that. When he's done, I'm next. At this point, I was helpless, and there was nothing I could do but wait. When it was over, they stepped to the side, let me get up, pull up my pants, and walk away. I was so numb. I felt so dirty, so ashamed, and I was confused. These were my friends. This wasn't supposed to happen. I silently walked home, which was literally down the street. And I got in the house, and didn't say one word. And my sister kept trying to talk to me, but I couldn't respond to her. Till eventually, because she kept bugging the heck out of me like younger siblings do, I said, Leslie, I was raped. And she ran in the living room to tell my mother, who called 911. And from there, a series of events had taken place, which included me riding in the back of an LAPD police car, riding around the neighborhood looking for my assailants, to being questioned and being examined in the hospital. I felt like a science project. It was a long night. The next day, I called my manager at Mervyn's to tell her what had happened and that I wouldn't be at work for a while. And for months, I stayed in my room in darkness. I put blankets on all the windows. I didn't want to see or be around anybody. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to watch TV. And I didn't want to talk on the phone. What 18-year-old do you know doesn't want to talk on the phone? After a while, I said, I gotta get out of this house. I haven't seen sunlight in a long time. So I decided to walk around the corner to the store, different corner, and I said, wow, it's pretty nice out here. On the way back, I turned the corner, bam, I run into one of my rapists. And we are standing here looking at each other eye to eye. And I was frozen. I couldn't move. And do you know what he had the nerve to say to me? Not I'm sorry, not I was drinking, none of that. He looked me in the eye like he did that night, and he said, you're not gonna press charges on me, are you? I was stunned, and I couldn't move, because now I'm traumatized all over again. So I walk home, and a couple of weeks later, it's time for me to go back to work. And apparently, the females at the job knew what happened, because as I'm straightening the clothes on the racks, they came to me in disbelief, asking, you got raped? Really? How? As if I wasn't good enough, or cute enough, or pretty enough to be raped. And I was mad as hell, because what justifies being good enough to be raped? These were those mean girls before the movie came out. They were. And it was just too much. I couldn't take it anymore, so I quit. And I thought not being around those mean girls would suppress the memory of me being raped, until I saw that movie, The Accused. And seeing Jodie Foster get attacked on that pool table was too much for me. I had to stop the tape. DVDs weren't a thing yet. And they say time heals all wounds. I beg to differ. Because even when the movie Straight Outta Compton came out, and seeing Dr. Dre sit on those steps was a trigger for me, because those were the exact same steps that I had to walk on to go testify against him. The trial was at the Compton courthouse. And I said, you know what? You're strong. You can get through this. Then the Me Too movement came out. And although my situation didn't happen in Hollywood, here I am saying, dang, hashtag Me Too. What that made me realize is that I've been holding on to this story for 3 decades. And you know what? It hurts. It never stops hurting. But hearing all those Me Too stories let me know that I am not alone anymore. You see, there was no Me Too movement when I was raped. This has been going on for centuries, and women have never said anything because of the pain, the shame, the embarrassment, and unfortunately, the blame. I remember my grandmothers telling me how smart I am and how pretty I am and how talented I am and how much they love me. And my paternal grandmother just turned 90 in January, and every time I visit her, we have to do the kissy selfie. She had 12 kids, and my paternal grandmother passed away when she was 91, and she had 15. I think she raised 17 to 19. I don't know, but it was a whole lot of them there. A lot. Now, these are some strong women. I come from a long line of strong, smart, sassy, and intelligent women. And having conversations with them when I was younger, they planted self-esteem seeds. And for this reason, I have to do the same with my children. I have 2 boys and 2 girls. And my youngest son sent a text to me a few weeks ago. He said, "Mommy, I am so proud of you. Look at all that you've been through, yet look at everything that you've accomplished." Yes, my kids still call me Mommy. That was after watching the movie Black Panther and seeing all the examples of the courage and the strength of the woman in that movie. So I'd like to take this opportunity to tell my mother and my sister who are here with us today, look at everything that you've been through. Yeah, look at all that you've accomplished. You are so strong. And Mama, thank you for making sure that our needs were met, doing the best that you could as a single mother, raising 2 little girls in South Central Los Angeles. I admire your strength. I love you both. You are my superheroes. Wakanda forever. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I reflect and realize that ever since I was a little girl, I've always had the courage within me to be able to face the trials and the tribulations on this journey we call life. But whose bright idea was it to put these little girls in here with this live lion? I'm just saying. And that's a big lion. Looking all terrified and stuff. However, that's planting the seeds so much that just last year, I published a book on having the courage to write positive affirmations, and the cover of my book has a lion on it. And I just remembered that picture 3 weeks ago. How amazing is that? That's planting the seeds. Now, my family is actually 5 generations strong. My grandmother, my mother, myself, my children, who ranged 17 to 30, my 5 grandchildren, and 1 on the way. And the baby was just born on Tuesday. Yes, 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 I am that old. And I know y'all out there whispering. Y'all out there whispering to each other, dang, when did she start having kids? When she was 10? It's okay, because I get that all the time. Now, in passing down my grandparents' legacy from myself to my children and my grandchildren, I start with their words of strength and wisdom. Today's story, my book, and this poem.
Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak miraculously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave, and so I rise.
So many of us are walking around with stories that have never been told. What story are you holding on to? You don't have to be afraid to tell your story anymore. For all the women in here, think about yourself as that little girl and know that you have that strength and that courage within you to accomplish and to gain anything that you desire. Can everyone please rise and stand with me? Come on, stand up. Everybody stand up. We are standing for the women in our lives, our grandmothers, all the way down to our granddaughters, and everyone in between, including your friends and your neighbors. Because from this point forward, we must be strong for ourselves. We have to be strong for our families, and we've got to be strong for each other. OMG. Did y'all just give me a standing ovation? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In all seriousness, I hope that what I said to you today and sharing my story, because I literally bared my soul to the whole world, and I'm hoping that it inspired you and it encourages you to be there for someone else. Thank you.